All right, I'm going to show how my local news pushes fear to no end.
County-wide. The total number now climbing to 1,431 confirmed cases in Riverside County. 41 deaths are
Confirmed
reported,
cases.
with 2 of those deaths happening in the past 24 hours. Also, more than 150 people have reportedly recovered in the county so far. In the Valley, the city of
Who
Indio is
confirmed
now the
it?
city with the most cases here in the Coachella Valley, with 64 confirmed cases with 2 deaths. Palm Springs and Palm Desert have the second and third most reported cases among Valley cities.
Yeah,
Palm
keep
Springs
pushing
has
the
62
fear.
cases with 8 resulting in death. Palm Desert is reporting 51 cases with 2 deaths. Several unincorporated areas also reporting confirmed coronavirus cases. Bermuda Dunes has 3, Idlewild Pine Cove has 3, and Mecca has 4 reported cases. Thermal is now reporting 2 cases, and Oasis reports 3 cases. None of the unincorporated areas mentioned has reported any deaths because of coronavirus. Riverside County
Yeah, but
Sheriff
you
Chad
guys
Bianco
lie all the
posting a
time.
coronavirus update on Facebook. Bianco says 80 inmates at county jails have tested positive for coronavirus over the past 2 weeks. So far, no deaths are reported. 16 of those have recovered
Yeah, of course
and
they're
will
going
be
to say
removed
all
from
the inmates
quarantine.
are
55
corona
Sheriff's Department
positive.
employees have tested positive. 3 have returned to work after recovering. The sheriff also mentioned his department has not cited or arrested anyone for not wearing a mask or a face covering. According to Johns Hopkins University, more than 20,000 Americans have
Are they
died from
actually going to
coronavirus,
cite people
surpassing
for not
Italy's
wearing a mask?
reported total of
That's
19,468 deaths.
retarded.
New York's governor says his state may be flattening the curve after weeks of social distancing and staying at
Flat
home.
Earth,
And
flattening the
taking a look here
swerve.
now at a live shot of Times Square, we can clearly see that people in New York City are staying home. But, as Andrew Dimbert reports, other states are preparing for a possible surge in cases.
More than 500,000 cases of coronavirus now confirmed in the U.S., and that number still growing.
500,000
With more than
now
8,600 deaths in New
confirmed.
York City alone, the
Whoa.
pandemic taking its toll on first
Whoa.
responders.
It's weighing on me.
But New York State may be seeing the curve begin to flatten after weeks of social distancing and stay-at-home orders.
The number of hospitalizations appears to have hit an apex, and the apex appears to be a plateau.
But New York Governor Andrew Cuomo with this warning.
The worst thing that can happen.
So they're going to ruin the economy and do all these
we make
stay-at-home
a
orders
misstep,
and
and we
psyops
let our emotions
based
get
on,
ahead of our logic
on
and
this
fact,
created
and we go through
pandemic.
this again in any manner, shape, or form.
President Trump
Give me
now
a
looking to
break.
create a task force focused on reopening the country.
The biggest decision I'll ever make.
But according to a New York Times report, new federal projections warn of a spike in coronavirus infections if shelter-in-place orders
what's
were
Trump
lifted
gonna
after
do? He's
only
gonna
30
do what his
days.
handlers
A second
tell him to
wave
do.
likely spiking mid-summer.
I would hope that by November we would have things under such control that we could have a real degree of normality.
Experts say the key to reopening will be testing. Tests like these drive-through sites in
Yeah, well,
California,
pushing all
checking
this
people
fear
for
and walking around
COVID-19
looking like
antibodies with a simple
you're,
finger prick. But so many
frickin' goon
cities still
from
preparing for a
Stranger
surge in
Things isn't
patients.
gonna help
Boston's
anything.
first field hospital now open.
We are about to have a very difficult couple of weeks here in Massachusetts.
Detroit also opening a new
They're-
field
you know what they're
hospital,
doing right now?
anticipating the need for more beds.
They're using
COVID-19 has
this
taken a
to,
financial toll
to
on
recruit
millions of
for the New
Americans
World
who are now
Order.
out of work. But relief is
'Cause,
on
like,
the way.
all
According
these,
to the U.S. Treasury, the first stimulus checks
all these
should be direct
NPCs are
deposited
gonna
this week.
sign up for
Meanwhile, some relief for
pushing the
Boeing
fear.
employees. The company
fear
announcing that it's
pusher
going to be
crisis
restarting
actors.
operations in a limited capacity in Washington state. The company dealing with mostly defense contracts and the Department of Defense. Those operations have been deemed a matter of national security and critical. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, the Pentagon is working to produce 39 million N95 masks. It's the first project the Defense Production Act has authorized to address the coronavirus pandemic. A Pentagon spokesperson says the White House gave the military formal authorization for the project last night. The cost is $193 million.
It's ironic because
Pentagon
I've
is not
had
yet
the
naming the
police
companies
called
involved.
on me
N95
for wearing a
masks
mask
continue to be in
and
high
just
demand and
protesting
short
in
supply
public.
nationwide. Health experts
And they
say
couldn't do
they're
anything, but
critical
they
to
were
keeping medical personnel
like trying
safe
to
and
get
in
me to
slow
take
slowing
the
the
mask
spread of
off. So
coronavirus.
so now
Millions of
they're gonna
Americans are
harass
sheltering in
me
place during the coronavirus
for
pandemic, and among them,
not wearing a
undocumented
mask. Is that how
immigrants,
it
many
goes?
of whom are finding themselves out of work and in some cases reportedly afraid of applying for
How
assistance.
ironic.
LA County has more than 900,000 undocumented people, according to recent estimates.
Blah blah blah
Those
blah
without
blah
work
blah blah
and
blah blah
without
blah.
financial
More
assistance must
propaganda.
rely on
Blah
the
blah blah blah
generosity of
blah.
others to stay alive.
Many times they don't qualify for a lot of the federal protections that are being issued out right now. With our help in social services and social justice, we're pushing to make sure that they don't get evicted, that they have food on the table, and that spiritually they're sound.
So the governor's
Immigrants
gonna
advocates say
throw
too
a
many of
little
their
bit of
clients
cash
won't
at
speak
people,
up or
like
apply for
$600 or
aid
whatever,
during the crisis
after
because
they
they believe it will
went
raise
along
red
with shutting
flags that will
everything
lead to
down.
deportation.
That
Advocates
doesn't
say in
make it
some
better,
cases,
dude.
immigrants
Governor
fear their
Newsom. It
citizenship
doesn't make it better,
applications will
guy.
be stalled.
You guys shut everything. You went
7,000
along with
hotel
it and
rooms
shut
across the
everything
state will
down
now be
like
open to homeless
dumbasses.
people as part of the
That doesn't
statewide
make
effort
it
aimed at
okay.
preventing the spread of coronavirus. $15 million in state and federal funding will be used to pay for the rooms. People who have tested positive
You
for the
realize how
virus
many
will get
people
first
lost their
priority.
jobs
Then
because of
next in
this
line are those who are waiting for test
this
results, those
BS?
who were exposed, or people over the age of 65.
We definitely are opening our doors to serve
Everybody
the
was all
community
freaking
and
out
the
over
vulnerable population
H1N1
of Sacramento. It's
a
been an
few
issue
years
for a long
back, and
time.
nothing ever happened
It's
from
unclear
that.
how long the housing program will last
They're
or
just
which
like
hotels
another
have been
boogeyman.
selected to shelter people. Hundreds of LA area fast food workers are demanding better safety measures and higher pay during the coronavirus pandemic. A group of workers gathered at a McDonald's in Hyde Park earlier this week for a protest. The protesters stayed in their cars in an effort to adhere to social distancing guidelines. Organizers of the protest
social
say they're
distancing
growing more
guidelines.
concerned after a McDonald's worker tested positive for
Bunch of
coronavirus.
NPCs running around.
Like our managers and like our people that are out there aren't giving us like enough like resources to protect ourselves during the virus and like all the stuff that's going on, and like I feel unsafe at work.
McDonald's has
Yeah,
said
they're
in
not
previous
they're not
statements that the
pushing the
company has
fear
provided
enough
hand sanitizer
at
to
work.
employees and
You're lucky to
increased
have a
cleaning in
job, bro.
restaurants. We're told the chain is also offering emergency paid leave. Tyson Foods says it's employing body scanners in their efforts to keep the coronavirus out of its plants. The poultry company said it bought more than 150 infrared walk-through scanners. The devices are already in place at facilities in Iowa, Indiana, Arkansas, and Georgia. They check the body temperatures of anyone who walks through them. Tyson says this allows the workers to continue their normal routines without
There you go. Now they're
unnecessary
using
contact.
bioscanners.
Tyson boasts this is just one of several protective measures they put in place. The company hopes to have at least one in each of its facilities soon.
You guys
Well,
realize
you
how
might be among the
psychotic
people
in
snacking more than usual
1984
during
this
this
is becoming?
coronavirus pandemic. Isolation can feel like hunger to the human brain. That's according to a preliminary report from researchers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. It's reportedly the first study in humans that shows how loneliness and hunger have the same signals in a part of the brain. Researchers say they
Yeah,
found
now
the human
they're
body's
studying
need to
the
connect is
effects
as
of the
fundamental as our
isolation,
need.
because this is all just being used to gauge. Oh, my connection stopped, but this is all just, I'll just stop there and comment. So this is all just being used. It looks like they're like scanning the brain and just seeing what kind of trauma it causes. And that sounds like what they do to targeted individuals with remote neural monitoring and gauging reactions and emotions and etc., which is all part of trauma-based mind control. All right, so timed out. What a coinky dink. All right, everybody. Don't go to sleep. Stay awake. Peace.